Well, hello, everybody. I'm Ricky Gene Wright, one of the Dallas Songwriters Association members. And put that down out the window. Other people say, nobody's to be seen. Go right here. I think it's that one. Yeah. Volume on it? That's good. So I thought it might be appropriate to sing a song that I wrote while I was playing down here with a little group called Duck Creek Station. And as we played down here at several different places, I think before we would kind of walk around and see the sights. And I got to thinking about all the blues musicians that had played down here a long time ago. One of those was a man by the name of Blind Lemon Jefferson. And this is my song about old Blind Lemon Jefferson. Blind Lemon rode the train to town, down in deep Ellum. Guitar in hand, he was glory bound, down in deep Ellum. Ooh, oh, down in deep Ellum. Ooh, oh, down in deep Ellum. Hungry and broke, he played for change, down in deep Ellum, out on the corner of Elm and Main, down in deep Ellum. Ooh, oh, down in deep Ellum. Ooh, oh, down in deep Ellum. Blind Lemon played the blues. Those that followed tried to fill his shoes. And he played the blues till he died. Blind Lemon sang the blues. Those that followed sang them too. And they sang the blues till they died. When he sang Black Snake Moan, down in deep Ellum, something chilled you to your bones, down in deep Ellum. Ooh, down in deep Ellum. Ooh, down in deep Ellum. He sang, keep my grave clean, down in deep Ellum. He's dead and gone, but his ghost I've seen, down in deep Ellum. Ooh, down in deep Ellum. Ooh, down in deep Ellum. Don Lemon played the blues. Those that followed tried to fill his shoes. Yeah, he played the blues till he died. Blind Lemon sang the blues. Those that followed sang them too. We all sang the blues, then we died. Ooh, down in deep Ellum. Ooh, down in deep Ellum. Thank you very much. Here's a little story song that I wrote. I guess I'm kind of fond of story songs. But I'm from the southeast Texas area. Born on the Galveston coast down there at a little town called Baytown. And Galveston was always a cool place for me growing up. I like to go down there, of course, to the beach, but one of my favorite places was the Strand over on the bay side. And all of my years of hanging around down there, I just had to write a song about it. It's called Island Red. It's about a famous businesswoman in old Galveston in the late 1800s. She was a red-headed German girl, abandoned by a rich businessman on the streets of old Galveston. She came over on an ocean liner. No one ever looked any finer. Who walked on the streets of old Galveston. Island Red, she was a beauty, they all said. Island Red, she always turned their heads. She called herself Island Red. They just called her beautiful, that good-looking woman who walked the Strand. All the women said she was shameless. All the men said she was famous. But everyone stopped to watch as she walked by. She always stayed at the finest hotels. As far as anyone could tell, she never once ever ran out of money. She was full of mystery, and one look at her could cause misery. Fill your dreams with a woman with hair so red. Island Red, she was a beauty, they all said. Island Red, she always turned their heads. She called herself Island Red. They just called her beautiful, that good-looking woman who walked the strand. All the women said she was shameless. All the men said she was famous. But everyone stopped to watch as she walked by. Island Red, she was a beauty, they all said. Island Red, she always turned their heads. She called herself Island Red. And they just called her beautiful, that good-looking woman who walked the strand. All the women said she was shameless. All the men said she was famous. But everyone stopped to watch as she walked by. Yeah, all the women said she was shameless. But all the men said she was famous. But everyone stopped just to watch her as she walked by. Thank you very much. So here's a song about standing off in the distance and watching somebody crash and burn. I had that happen to me when I was in high school with my very best friend. And then over the years, I've been close to other people and watched them, and really there wasn't anything I could do but write a song about it. It's called Fuels the Flame. I've had a lot of people tell me that, my goodness, Ricky Jean, you've been listening to my story or stories of my friends, so it must be a pretty relatable song. Standing there by a burning bridge, looking at what you've done, holding all the evidence in your hands. It never crosses your mind to say there might be another way as it all comes crashing down again. What are you supposed to do when you flirt with trouble and trouble chooses you? You stand there staring, knowing you're the blame, when your own life fuels the flame. Truth be told, this won't be your last. It's no secret about your past. You burn your bridges with your own gasoline. Many have said the odds are stacked. If you don't change, you'll be back, striking another match with nothing left between. What are you supposed to do when you flirt with trouble and trouble chooses you? You stand there staring, knowing you're the blame, when your own life fuels the flame. You stand there staring, knowing you're the blame, when your own life fuels the flame. Thank you very much. You know, I mentioned that group that was sang down here, a little group called Duck Creek Station. And the female singer of that group, Miss Denise Owen, passed away this last December, lost her fight with breast cancer. And she's not the first person that left this earth too quick. And after she passed away, I was kind of lost in the music world there for a little bit, because we had sang on 5 albums together. And so what does a songwriter do? He sits down and writes a song. It's called Here on This Side of Heaven. Are we on a journey with fate just around the bend? Does God hold the whole world in his hands? Here on this side of heaven, here on this side of heaven, there are things we don't understand. Here on this side of heaven, when we say goodbye to our loved ones and our friends, when forever is too far to see, hard to comprehend. Here on this side of heaven, here on this side of heaven, there are things we don't understand. Here on this side of heaven, we walk by faith that when our lives are through, the answers will be seen with the clearest view. Here on this side of heaven, here on this side of heaven. There are things we don't understand here on this side of heaven. Here on this side of heaven. Here on this side of heaven. There are things we don't understand here on this side of heaven. Here on this side of heaven. I think I got time for one more, maybe. One more. On that first album that was released back, I think it was 2015, over in Europe, they really liked a song on the album. And our producer and A&R director of the little label that I was on said, you know, if you mention Texas in a song, people over in Europe really like it. So this song got a lot of play in Europe. They got a lot more play than it did here in Texas. And so my producer said, you know, the next album's got to have a couple of songs that mentions Texas, and got to have a title song that mentions Texas. So the next album was Texas Is Our Home. But this was just a song about Texas that we put on that first album called Folks Like Us Were Born to Sing. And we got a little surprise when we got all these emails from Europe. I guess they think we're all cowboys or something, huh? Driving down a two-lane road in Texas as the full moon lights up the night. It takes me back to another day. It takes me back to another time when she looked at me and gave me a smile. There is nothing like the love of a Texas girl. It can move a mountain and change a river's course. There is nothing like the love of a Texas girl. There is nothing like it in the whole wide world. If you go to Austin or to San Antonio, you might as well just call it home. And if you go to Dallas or travel to that Fort Worth town, get ready, son, 'cause you're about to settle down. There is nothing like the love of a Texas girl. It can move a mountain and change a river's course. There is nothing like the love of a Texas girl. There is nothing like it in the whole wide world. A rumor is the prettiest girls are in Texas, and that's no brag. that's just a fact. And if you're here from another place and a pretty smile seals your fate, send word back home that you can't come back. 'Cause there's nothing like the love of a Texas girl. It can move a mountain and change a river's course. There is nothing like the love of a Texas girl. There is nothing like it in the whole wide world. Oh, there's nothing like it in the whole wide world. Get yourself a Texas girl. Thank you very much.